you want to travel the world without forking out so much money? Time to jot down some notes as Emma and her special guest will share with you a lot of exciting tips on Bestination.
L is for the way you look at me. Oh, okay, I gotta stop and start the show. You are super lucky to have Michelle and Laura T. They are gonna share with you all about the love for single people like me if I went to America. Let's go straight into it. Hi, welcome, Michelle and Laura.
Hello, Emma.
Thank you.
Is love is in the air? Well, love is in America, right?
Love is everywhere.
I'm so in love with your accent. I'm so in love with you guys being here. So no time to waste. Clock is ticking. Sounds familiar, right? Single ladies and gentlemen, you're right. You know, your parents say, "Oh, when are we gonna get married? Like,
Preach.
So fret not. Okay, all you need to do is, make sure you are in these top 5 cities. That apparently you can find love. I don't know if you can confirm you can find love lah. No guarantees, okay? So don't sue this. So don't sue me. Don't sue Michelle or Laura if you can't find. They'll explain why these cities help people to fall in love. And what makes them so great to live and, blah, blah, blah. And I watched The Bachelorette and actually, they find love there. So let's take it away, Michelle or Laura. Whoever is going to tell me about love.
I think Laura will start.
Okay, Laura, tell me some love stuff.
All right. So top cities to fall in love. Yes. I would say Los Angeles.
For number 5.
For number 5.
Yep.
Yes.
Why?
It's first of all, it's diverse. So there's always lots of people from all over. It's probably one of the only places in the States where it's perfectly normal to have bubble tea with your street tacos.
Wow.
And the landscape is beautiful. You can drive an hour and be at the beach, into the mountains, in the desert, actually.
Actually gave me goosebumps.
Yeah. So
I don't have that.
Lots of romantic places. And if you just want to stay in the LA, Orange County area, you can go to Santa Monica Beach and walk along the pier, and that's a pretty cool place to be.
Wow, she sounded so passionate talking about it.
I mean, Hollywood is there.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can go see the stars.
Zac Efron's there, I guess. Like running on the beach.
We have very different taste.
Well, it's actually legit. I read this article and they say LA is one of the most romantic places on planet Earth with the right person. It can be.
Yes.
Yes. With the right person.
The right person.
Okay, any more about LA that you want to share, or is that all it is?
There's much more, but yeah. I mean, California in itself is a huge state, and
it's all for you guys to experience there on your own. That's Laura can just tell you a bit. If you want more, you gotta pay her now. Okay, next is what?
So next we have decided that Baltimore takes number 4. The reason being, so we grew up around the Maryland area, and Baltimore is this nice little quaint small town, small city. I mean, there's water, there's history, there's all this great nightlife. It's just big enough for you to feel like you're living in a city, but still small enough that you can still walk to see a friend instead of having to take a train or something. Wow. There's old historical roads, and you can hold hands, walk along the harbor, and then make your way down some cobblestone roads. And you can't drive on them because they're very bumpy, so you have to walk. And then when you walk, you talk, you look into your lover's eyes. And
don't trip though.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, that sounds so nice. But I actually don't know where Baltimore is, specifically on the map.
Baltimore is in the state of Maryland. Maryland is north of Virginia and south of Pennsylvania.
Wow, that's nice. It's actually, apparently, it's known as the Charm City.
Yes, it is.
It is?
It is.
I'm right.
People are
You
actually
right.
very charming there. Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to visit both of these places, though.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay.
I would say number 3 is Austin, Texas. And maybe I'm a little biased because I'm actually photographing a wedding there in a couple months. And the couple met and fell in love in Austin. So, but it's one of the cities. Texas is a huge state, and depending on where you go, it can be many different personalities.
What can you see there in Austin, though?
It's very... So University of Texas at Austin is there. So lots of people from all over. Once again, it's diverse. They have a music festival called South by Southwest every spring. So a lot of bands come in and play. Again, it's close to a river, nature. So you get to do a lot of hiking, a lot of outdoors outdoorsy type of places. And there's also the traditional Texas barbecue.
Ooh.
Food.
So lots of good options there.
Yeah,
and
you can actually like dance in the concert thing, right?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like Bachelorette. Okay.
Yes.
Oh my love, there's too much to handle right now. It's getting hot in here, so put on some clothes. Stay tuned for the top 2 cities in America to fall in love.
Planning your 2019 based on your Chinese zodiac? Eager to advance your career with lucky stars? Join Jessie and Hannah Zodiac Seminars on Meta Talk.
AisKacang, delicious audio.
Yo, welcome back to the Dr. Love Show. Just kidding. We were saying LA, Baltimore, and Austin were great places to fall in love, right? So where else can we fall in love?
All right, so my top 2, I am extremely biased for these, so let me explain why.
Okay.
My top 2 cities to fall in love are Chicago and New York City. In my opinion, New York edges out just a little bit, but let me focus on Chicago first. So Chicago is where I personally found my love. So I can attest to all of the amazingness that it has to offer. Chicago's architecture is just, it's iconic, it's beautiful. It's the city is designed in a way, because there's a whole giant fire that it burned out the entire city in a century ago. So they rebuilt the whole city, and they did it very intentionally. So you can walk by the river, and when you walk by the river, it's like you see the sun setting, and each architect that contributes to the Chicago skyline, they build it so that they take into account what it looks like when reflected across the other buildings. So you see it reflected across the water, you see it like bouncing back. It's just like, it's magical. And you just...
fall in love with the city.
You fall in love with the city, and you fall in love with the person that you happen to be with at the time.
Yeah, like you're one now, right? You want to give a shout out to your loved one now?
Oh, hello, honey.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
Anything else about Chicago that they can like offer? Like what romantic spots?
Chicago, you can go to the beach, you can go, it is a city, so you can go into the more urban areas. If you go to the different neighborhoods, everything feels a little bit different. You have the ones that are more like run down, kind of like this half-century version of hipster, like the coffee shops and the like we have no money but we're like artists, but we pay too much for our coffee, and and you go to the more fancier places downtown. You can go out for a nice meal and just there are a lot of things to do as a couple in Chicago, and then usually you find other couples, and even if you're single, you fall in love with your great group of friends.
And then you move to New York, right?
Chicago and New York, in the U.S., there's always a battle between them to say which is the better city. And New Yorkers are very, 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 very... They take pride in it. But Chicago people do too. Like Chicagoans feel very strongly about Chicago, so they are very loyal.
It's like the KL and PJ, something like that.
Really? It's like that? Really? I don't know. I think it's more like Beijing, Shanghai, right? Like it's the two between China. So, but it's funny because my boyfriend is from New York, but we met in Chicago, so we have a lot of but he's leaving now. So, But in my opinion, the top city absolutely to fall in love in the U.S. is definitely New York City.
New York. Oh yeah.
I'll let you go. Mainly because it has everything that Chicago has, in my experience. The architecture is not as great. It's still amazing, but of course it's not. I mean, there wasn't a fire that burned down the whole city, so they couldn't really rebuild. But it is the absolute strongest for diversity. Diversity of food, diversity of people, diversity in terms of everyone being very open-minded, very liberal in their thinking. So you can be whatever you want to be. You can find other people who, mesh with your way of thinking, your way of life. And I think there's a lot of stuff out there about how hard it is to live in New York, how hard it is to find love. Yeah. But if you want to just go and discover more about who you are, discover a life with another person, New York, I think, is the place to be.
Aww. That sounds so lovely. Anything else that you like to share?
Well, we can talk a little about DC.
DC.
It's another city that shows up if you Google top 5 places of places to fall in love in the U.S. DC pops up, but DC is not, in my opinion, the place to find love. I tried
Yes, I agree.
many times. Many times. It's
still
it's
trying.
so not. People are very
please.
different. The statistics say one thing, and then reality is another. So
Sounds fake, like comic books, right?
it's a little bit. It's
Yeah.
it's too corporate. It's too government. It's too everything. That's
Very
not
rigid.
sexy.
Yeah. Well, I think I would pick like NYC or LA to fall in love because
Yeah.
that's like the only 2 mainstream places. Well, the hot celebrities gonna be there too, like Zac Efron, Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Still
Go chase
single
them
available for
down.
Zac
Yeah.
Efron. So
Get a
call me,
restraining
baby,
order.
call me. Well, thank you so much, girls. I really appreciate the advices that you've given me, and hopefully you listeners enjoyed it. So go and find your Prince Charming near, far, wherever you. But make sure to follow me on my YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/EMAPHOON. Promote me also, okay? Because I'm quite single as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
stay tuned for more of Bestination. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.